Welcome in. Happy Thanksgiving. Live with you right here on SportsGrid. It is Pro Football Today. I am Kevin Walsh, and I am thankful to be joined by Joe Lisi. How are you, sir?
Oh, doing great. Thankful for you as well. Love doing these games on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
3 great matchups. Explosive games, 2 divisional games. We start. Detroit, Green Bay, huge implications for the North. Kansas City, Dallas, both teams on life support for a playoff appearance. And then the big one, Joey B.
The big one.
Joey B comes back against Lamar. Could be fireworks later tonight.
We have a saying in the basement.
In the
Showed
basement.
your cards. Oh, we're a minute in. Lisi showed his cards. The big one, 3-8 Cincinnati. The big one. Here's what that tells me. He's thinking, Kev picked him to win the Super Bowl. He must not be on him. He gave up time to swoop back in and reclaim Joe Burrow. I am so excited to break these games down. It is a great slate that we have. I do think just before we fully break in, Lisi, to your point, though, is these aren't just, hey, big-time totals, this should be fun. And we have some really, really good totals here on this slate today. But it's all the playoff implications. The winner of game number 1, Packers-Lions, is going to be the favorite in the NFC North. And I think potentially a minus money favorite within the North. Game number 2, Dallas and Kansas City. For the Chiefs, it's the opportunity to stack momentum off of a close but important win against Indianapolis. Cowboys, same story, though. That's not a team that has a lot of breathing room. There's a lot of conversation and hype after they beat and had that comeback against the Eagles. But you have to keep on going now. It's going to be tight to get into that NFC playoff picture. You're going to need 10, 11 wins potentially. And then that final game between Baltimore and Cincinnati, a Cincinnati win, maybe the North is live. A loss, I think their season is over. It's Burrow back. For Jackson and the Ravens, they're winning, but it doesn't look impressive. That's not usually how their seasons feel. So many implications through all 3 of these games.
Yeah, and the storylines, right? So you think about the last time that Green Bay and Detroit played week 1. Detroit gets blown out. They get pushed to the limit by a gutless New York Giant team that only has basically 2 wins on the year. They go to overtime. Kansas City struggled for much of 3 quarters against Indianapolis, down 20-9. They have to pull it out. Dallas down 21-0, pulls it out against the Eagles. And the hottest team potentially right now in the NFL happens to be Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, winners of 5 straight, right? Can they keep it going? They're first place now in the AFC North.
Right.
And for Cincinnati, you get Joe Burrow back, it's make it or break it, right? I mean, they are basically dead to rights to make a playoff spot, but they have a little bit of life if they could pick up this victory. They lose, Kev, they're done. And I've told you before, Zach Taylor potentially might not be the coach next year.
Yeah, that is absolutely on the line, I think, for Taylor. I don't know if they'll make that decision in season, but I think you're right to say he's coaching for his job. One guy who might be coaching for his job, some of it's contract related, is Matt LaFleur. I think we should start to try and break this one down with the Lions and the Packers. And I actually want to start from a point that will probably throw you a bit for a loop, because I haven't been able to tell you this yet, but I've been, continuing to work through the markets, right? And we'll get to the night game. We'll do these in chronological order, but if Cincinnati loses, they're eliminated, and I may find myself then back into the Super Bowl market. And you listen, you know I love me a bit of value.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in Green Bay. I am. And I know this team has flaws that you and I have agreed on for years now, right? But I do think this defense it actually is elite, and I think the offense can find a rhythm. It doesn't necessarily have one in this moment, but I think they're capable of going on a heater. I will say I'm not interested in getting in before this game, though, here against the Lions, because the market's going to change massively against them with a loss here today. They're a dog in the game. Of these 2 teams, would you say that one of them you are more interested than the other in making a run? Or maybe you're just like, I know one of these teams is not making that run.
Yeah, I think I want to buy into Green Bay because I've been on them the past couple of seasons, and we talk about offensive identity, and they had that. I want to say at the start of the year, they were starting to open up the offense with Jordan Love. They weren't relying as much on Josh Jacobs. Then Jacobs goes down. He pulls out 2 games in back-to-back weeks. They are battle-tested on the road, 3-1-1 this year. Again, when I look at making a run, we're talking NFC Championship. Yeah, I think it's possible, but I would still probably, in that aspect, probably rely on Detroit if we're talking just these 2 teams. As much as my heart is with LaFleur and Green Bay, those wide receivers, to me, struggle, right? And they struggled against the Eagles last year, right? That was a big problem why they couldn't score points. They lose 22-10. They got pressure on Jordan Love. They took Josh Jacobs out of the game, and it's fine when you're playing teams like Minnesota with no quarterback play, and you're playing other teams like the Giants, right? Yeah. But when you get into a playoff type of atmosphere, you need a pure number 1 go-to, and I feel that St. Brown and Williams have that for Detroit, along with, obviously, Montgomery and the home run hitter and Jahmyr Gibbs.
So my thing with both of these teams, but Detroit more, I think so, than even Green Bay, is I won't buy either one of these teams making a run as a wild card team, because I think home field advantage is so important in the NFC as a whole. The Eagles have never lost a home playoff game with Jalen Hurts, right? I think some of these teams you look at, you go, oof, outdoors, January, tough, right? For the Lions, we know that, right? That is a thing that just does surround Goff and this football team. The Packers, and this is one of the important things within, who's going to win divisions, right? The Rams are a dome team. The Lions are a dome team. Philly is not. At least you get decent weather. If, by say, San Francisco gets in, right? Tampa Bay gets in, like you at least, but if all of a sudden Chicago, Lisi, right? Like if we'll talk a little bit about the Friday game, if that team is, if you have to go to these cold weather spots, it upsets you. But at least if I have a Green Bay ticket, right? I know of course, you've not given up on Philadelphia. If you have a Philadelphia ticket, you're like, well, this is our environment, right? We can be a little bit more comfortable in that way. I want to ask you about, within this game specifically, some key players. But what do you make of the 3-point number? What do you find yourself leaning to a side in this game?
I'm always in a divisional matchup taking the points, right? And we talk about it, throughout the year where we've seen divisional opponents step up or at least be close within the number. I do like Green Bay in this matchup. Didn't like the performance out of the secondary where Jameis did attack them over the top. Again, I'm not sold on the Giants, having elite wide receivers, but in this type of matchup on Thanksgiving, this game was 34-31 last year. Yeah. Right? So I give the benefit of the doubt to Green Bay. I don't love it. I'm not betting this side, but if I had to, I would lean Green Bay. I do like the total. I like a lot of props in the market. I do like Jamison Williams on the Detroit side to step up. I do expect Wicks to be that go-to on Green Bay. I know it sounds crazy, but he did have 32 yards basically in the first half, got knocked around. He's cleared to play today. I think in red zone opportunities, it's not going to be Christian Watson or Dobbs. I think it can be Dontavian Wicks that could basically exploit the defense in the secondary, and Love likes him in critical spots. He's a favorite of Jordan Love, so that's where I'm looking.
Yeah, I am tempted by Green Bay at 3. I would be on it in 2 seconds if it was 3.5. I don't think that's coming, though. I will say we're at a point now where it looks like this will close 3 pretty much everywhere, right? There was some times where it was up, it was down, it was up, it was down. I am a believer in this Green Bay defense. I think it is hard to get a gauge on the Lions defensively. Mm-hmm. They do have numbers that grade out well. We know they've been injured, but they don't, aside from when Aiden Hutchinson takes over a game, they don't feel elite.
Right.
They don't feel supremely dangerous. And I think that is one of the reasons I've not been able to get to them right as much as other people in other places. There are some really key guys, though, who will need to step up today. Josh Jacobs back. Jamison Williams off a 0-catch game. And what about these quarterbacks? We'll let you know after the break here on Pro Football Today.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Back with you right here on a Thanksgiving morning as we get you ready for a full NFL slate. We look at the Lions and the Packers. Joe, I'm going to start the quarterback position here. Jordan Love, Jared Goff. I'm going to bet Jordan Love for 2+ passing touchdowns in this game. He's coming off of a performance actually where he didn't throw one. I think a lot of that had to do with the Vikings being lifeless offensively, more so than anything else within that game. But we've actually seen a lot of passing touchdowns given up by Detroit this year. 21 passing touchdowns compared to just 8 on the ground. If you look, 8 of 11 opposing quarterbacks have thrown multiple passing touchdowns against this Detroit defense. So I like Love for 2. Anything stick out for you for either QB in this game?
Yeah, so I'm with you on. I actually like both quarterbacks today.
Okay.
I think they could both get to 250 plus and both 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
We'll get into it a little bit later, but I really like the total 48.5. We saw 49.5 50s in the market earlier in the week. Now we settled in at 48.5, but Green Bay has won 3 straight road games against Arizona, Pittsburgh, and the New York Giants, and they put up points, and Jordan Love played very well in the game against Pittsburgh and the game against the New York Giants. So on the road, he's performed well over his last 3 starts. It's not a bad look. Again, I think it's always difficult. Which receiver can we key on? Is it going to be Golden? Is it going to be Dobbs? Is it going to be, Dontavian Wicks, like I mentioned? Without Kraft in that lineup, it really opens things up for the passing attack. And I just keep going back to last year. When he played in the Dome, he had a solid performance. Josh Jacobs did hit pay dirt. He's back for this game. But again, I still think it's the passing attack. When you saw the success of Jameis Winston and that New York Giants offense, that outside of Wan'Dale Robinson is limited at the wide receiver position, if you're LaFleur, you know that Hutchinson and that front 7 are going to look to take away Jacobs and the rushing attack. It has to be Love over the top.
Yeah, I do think that it is a spot where Jordan Love steps up. I think it can become tricky then who's the guy, because it's not just that they don't have a Lamb, a Jefferson, a Chase. It's that they've also been very injured this year.
Yeah.
So I don't think they've been able to find any consistency, right? Christian Watson started the year injured. They were hoping Golden would break out. He's been banged up. I know he's back today. Tucker Kraft was clearly the guy. They lose him to the season for an ACL. Wicks has been out of the lineup. They lost Jaden Reed throughout the season. So I think that's become a difficult thing to get a grasp on. Is there anyone on that side that stands out to you?
But I like Wicks, but again, it's hard because it seems like every game it's a different guy, and you could credit LaFleur for sort of exploiting the weakness. Again, against Dallas, it was Kraft and Dobbs, right?
Yeah.
And then Golden came on, and then obviously with the injury to Kraft, and now it's all of a sudden Golden that came on last week, and Wicks got involved in the offense. I still like Wicks, and I altered him as high as 60 because he's got great numbers.
Okay.
Again, when Wicks is in there, Love likes to go to him. I'm still going to stick with Christian Watson and Wicks on the Green Bay side. Now, Watson has hit pay dirt. He got 2 against the Giants. He's been more consistent. But again, you can't gauge it off of the win against Minnesota because Minnesota didn't push back in any capacity. They built the first half lead and just sat on the football in the second half. I like both of those players. That's how I would go Green Bay. Watson yards. I'm on for the yards with Wicks. But anytime touchdown, Wicks has great value.
On the Detroit side, there's a guy I know you're interested in.
Huge.
I want you to tell me why, and then I'll try and, tack on a little bit. Jameson Williams here. Lions, potential star receiver. We know Amon-Ra's the guy. Jameson has a ton of talent. What are you thinking here?
Again, road spots. He stepped up against Kansas City. He stepped up against Washington with the 100-yard performance on the road, right? The slot receiver against Green Bay is going to be critical. I think, again, they'll take away St. Brown. They'll double-team him. Right, and then look, obviously, to force Jared Goff with pressure to short to underneath throws, maybe to Brock Wright or Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of the backfield. But if they get clicking and they're in tempo and he hits Jameson Williams on slots, I think he'd take it to the house. They're going to probably play more man-to-man, I believe, in this game as opposed to zone. And that's where Jameson Williams' speed, I think, could take over. 80-plus and an anytime touchdown, especially since he didn't get involved in that game against the Giants. When you have a home run hitter in this type of game, it means so much. Divisional game, you want to take control of the North. No better way to play it than Gibbs, obviously, on the ground attack, and Jameson Williams, your speedster.
It's so interesting, Joe, is you mentioned him on the road. I know they're home today, but they're splits that don't even really make sense to me. Now, some of it is just it's so up and down.
Right.
You never know where it's going to come. Like, he has a game where he had 1 catch, 1 target for 9 yards on the road. That's at Cincinnati. But he has multiple games this year at home without a catch. In those 2 games, one against Tampa and then one last week against the Giants, 5 targets. It's not like he's out there dropping footballs all left.
They're not even game planning him in that sense.
But when
Go ahead.
I think that Jameson performance, to me, I imagine, is more on Goff than anything else. And I think Goff is a bit of a rattled quarterback right now, all in all. I think Goff is most comfortable with Amon-Ra, and that's why the St. Brown targets look the way they do. He's got 25 targets, Joe, over their last 2 games. And I think one thing Detroit now has completely come to terms with is Jahmyr Gibbs is their best player. Skill position player.
They finally realized that after 2 years.
I mean, they didn't. I mean, listen. They knew it. Here's when they knew it. When they drafted him and whenever Montgomery's injured. But other than that, they're like, no. But now they seem to fully get it, and they just spam that. They're just spamming the Gibbs button as much as they can. But Jameson not being involved, I don't think is a Dan Campbell thing. Because I think this coaching staff, they can't stand that. I think they believe in the talent. I honestly think, Joe, if you ask them, hey, who's your most talented receiver, they would say Jameson over Amon-Ra. I really believe that.
Absolutely. I think he's a more pure route runner.
And he's more
bigger,
dangerous.
And he's explosive.
What's interesting at 3.5 is his receptions number. He's such an explosive player. You think to yourself, if he catches 4 balls, he's going for 50, 60, 80. Why not? It's not that I don't think that's true. He is in one of these spots, though, Joe, where the first play of the game, if it's not a carry to Gibbs, bubble screen.
Yeah.
That's what you would almost expect here a bit in this spot.
So to the game against Cincinnati on the road, he gets 1 of 9 on the road, 7 for 66 against KC and a touchdown, right? 7 for 119 and a touchdown against Washington, 7 and 88 and a touchdown against Philly, all on the road.
Yeah. They got to step up here today in front of that home crowd. We'll see What about Dallas? What about Kansas City? Mahomes versus Dak? We'll break that down next right here on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
It is Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh and Joe Lisi. Cowboys Chiefs. Excited to watch this one play out. 3.5, 1 or 2 threes still out there. Big time total. Biggest on the slate today right now at 52.5. We have got some time to talk about this. I actually want to start on the Cowboys side because I think rightfully Cowboys-Eagles was more about Philadelphia. And you and I, when we get together, we have limited time, so we kind of handle the Eagles piece of it a little bit more. Though, if anything, maybe we were off a little bit because there's a lot of people who are like, Cowboys, playoffs, Dak, MVP. We're doing this again. Schottenheimer, Coach of the Year.
Come on.
We're doing this. This is what we're doing out there.
No, we're not.
No. Well, I keep hearing. This guy's done a heck of a job. Best 500 job apparently in the history of football. This guy.
All right.
Where are you at? You might find it ridiculous, but people are talking on the notion of the Dallas Cowboys making a run, maybe not only making the playoffs, maybe catch a falling Philly. And I can't even say it with a straight face.
Come on.
Where are you at on Dallas after the big win heading into today?
Look, so you gave him the win already?
No. After the big win, after the big win.
I was just going to say, right. No. They're playing well. And they're playing well. I'll give credit where credit's due. I was dead wrong about Philly. For those that didn't listen to the show on Sunday and Monday and everything else, great performance in the second half. The defense has stepped up. Those additions, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, have been a great addition to the front seven. They've been good in run support. But I still think the weaknesses that the Dallas Cowboys have that were exploited by teams like the Broncos and some of the others in the early part of the season are still there. Do I think that big picture Dallas can go on a heater to potentially win the NFC East? No. Do I think that they can make a run if they get into the playoffs as a wild card? Anything is possible. Do we call a run actually winning a game? Yeah, I'll give them that.
Right.
But I don't think they're winning an NFC championship in any capacity. What I will say is I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are kicking themselves. He might have been a problem, but I think they wish they had George Pickens back in that lineup because DK Metcalf is not stepping up as that number one, and all George Pickens is doing is showcasing that he's a premier wide receiver in this league.
No doubt.
Everybody's talking about JSN, and rightfully so, but George Pickens, over the past couple of weeks against the Las Vegas Raiders and what he did in the second half against Philly, I mean, he's a genetic freak.
Yep.
And showcased that at Georgia. But again, when you have guys like that, and then you sprinkle in Javonte Williams, an above-average running back that can catch the football, they're going to put up points. I still think, though, Kev, at most, they're a 9-win football team this year. I don't think they're going to go on this heater where they're going to win today, they're going to win down the road and catch Philly because Philly now all of a sudden is exposed. I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so I don't, it sounds like, you're hating. I don't think so.
And he's done a good job, Schottenheimer, but I mean, he's probably going to overexceed his expectation.
Is he?
Well, maybe.
I don't. Here's
you
my
want to
thing.
give him 3 more wins, they overexceed.
Well,
7.5, right?
So this is the thing that I'm so confused about. Joe, if I tell you you're losing a game 21-0 early second quarter, and you score 24 points at the final of that game, would you expect to win that game or lose that game?
Lose that
You would
game.
expect to lose that game.
Right.
I say that to say the Dallas heralded offense did what they've done all year. Big spot, elite step up, prove we're better than you think. They no-showed. What happened, though, is Philly, as they have done in a number of games this season, they fell apart. They seemingly can only, if it looks elite, it's going to last for a half. Now, look, they can give you one of the best halves you've ever watched, but that means the other half of football is going to be nightmarish to see. Dallas won the game. So I'm not saying they didn't win the game, but the perception, the discussion, they're like, wow, Dak was brilliant.
Come on.
What?
No.
I didn't see that.
Right.
I didn't see brilliance. Pickens was brilliant. CeeDee Lamb wasn't brilliant. The run game wasn't brilliant. That defense, I also think, was largely bailed out. So, to me, I don't find Dallas to be a threat. However, and now we're going to break this game down.
Mm-hmm.
A win today,
Yeah.
I'll start to listen. Because,
okay.
Joe, now they've won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Now, by hook or crook,
Right.
you've beaten 2 good teams in
Yes.
a row.
All right, but if we're talking playoffs, Kev, right?
Sure.
They got 1 loss at home and 1 tie, okay?
Yeah.
All right. They beat 2 teams on the road, the Raiders and Jets. The other 3 road games, Eagles lost week 1.
Yep.
Right? Panthers, playoff caliber team at 500, lost on the road. And the Broncos, they got smashed. So if this team has to go into a road environment against a good team,
I
are you
couldn't agree
confident
more.
that
No.
I'm not.
Much better
So-
versions of Dallas have been eliminated early in the playoffs.
But that's my.
We're going to keep getting to this.
But that's my point.
We're going to hit a break. We're going to come right back. We've got pro football today. Chiefs, Cowboys, big Thanksgiving spot on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League.
Yep.
So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I
He got
said
hit
earlier.
behind the line of
worst problem
scrimmage.
on
He got
this team
tackled
is the
in the
offensive
end zone.
line. Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing
No
is,
surprise.
Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Cowboys-Chiefs, a huge one on Thanksgiving. Kansas City, a 3.5-point favorite. Big total, 52 and a hook. Are you more drawn towards the side or total in this one, Joe?
I like the total. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I like all three totals today. I think we can have points aplenty. I think, and we have elite quarterback, above average quarterback play. Potentially top 6 quarterbacks in the league outside of Josh Allen and Hurts are in today, right? I mean, you can make the argument statistically.
Interesting.
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 Well, Lamar, Burrow when he's healthy. I know that's going to bother you. Mahomes, everybody's All-American. Dak.
Why do you say Mahomes like, everybody loves this Mahomes?
No,
like
I've been on Mahomes. I'm saying because I know you're on Mahomes today. I know. I like Kansas City.
Yeah, nuts.
Why am I nuts?
All right, I mean.
No, I said Pat Mahomes three Super Bowls. We say it. All he does is win, baby. What?
Wait, all right. So you don't think he's that good?
I think he's fantastic.
You think he's a little overrated?
No, I was actually giving you like a little cherry, a little, freebie. You were the Mahomes hater over the past couple of years, not me.
I was accurately calling out Mahomes not playing at his level.
Right, and I said now everybody's All-American, and now you punch it back that I don't like Mahomes.
Well, I'll say this: the Mahomes stuff continues to be weird. Can we acknowledge
how
that?
so? 352 last week.
Right.
Go ahead.
Mahomes' passer rating last 3 weeks all under 80.
With this passer rating, is the
okay.
passer rating the holy grail?
One touchdown to 3 interceptions last 3 weeks. You love that?
No, but again, we've seen this team at times.
Completion percentage under 60. You love that?
Again, the game was on the line, and he found Rashee Rice.
No, I'm talking about the 3-game window.
The quarterback rating doesn't show that the game was on the line, and he put his team in a position.
Well, they're 1-2 in their last 3.
But we're talking last week.
I'm talking all 3. I'm talking about Mahomes this season.
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Well, look, I have always said at the start of the year, I do not believe Kansas City is this dominant team.
Right.
I still believe in Pat Mahomes. They put playmakers around him like Rashee Rice coming back and obviously drafting Xavier Worthy. You still have Hollywood Brown in there.
Right.
They don't have a consistent rushing attack, so he's had to open it up more so. They've run.
Hunt had 100 last week.
Game. But again, and Mahomes was the leading rusher for the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks of the regular season. I mean, the issues that they had offensively are somewhat better because of their opening up the offense and are predominantly more pass-heavy than they were the previous 2 seasons. But the weaknesses of this team, big picture now, which I've told you multiple times, are still their defense could be exposed now.
Yeah.
And their defense has been exposed. It was exposed against Jacksonville, where they lost. It was exposed even early last week against Indianapolis. They're not this home run at home anymore, and they're going to have to bring their A game. Again, I think this game has fireworks. I just think that both quarterbacks are going to cook. I think Mahomes will get the better of Dak in this matchup just because, again, this is a huge step-up spot for Dallas. We'll see.
For me, and I guess...
Now you went the other way because I saw the tweet yesterday with Mahomes and I know you're all over the Chiefs and Mahomes today.
Well, I mean, it's a great spot. It's a great spot to be on Mahomes.
I'm with you, but I like the over more.
My favorite bet is the Chiefs team total, 27.5. How do you feel about that?
I love it. Can we get Worthy in the end zone a couple times? Worthy
Maybe.
for 100+ coming back to Big D where he played his college ball at Austin?
Him and Matthew Golden. This is a spot This is a spot where Mahomes, I think, could re-enter the MVP conversation.
Okay.
Because we often do not like for the MVP award to be done before December, before the season's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a chance to be spectacular. If you look at Mahomes this season, in 11 games, he has not thrown 2 passing touchdowns in any of them. He has thrown 3 or more or 1 or fewer this season. I think it's a 3 or more game. I look at their last 2 games. They've scored 21, 19, and 23. And again, they've not scored over 20. That means in regular, or they've not scored over 21 in regulation in 3 consecutive games. But prior to that, we saw the offense absolutely clicking. 37, 28, 30, 31, 28. They were dominating. And I think that's what this looks like a little bit more today. Because Kansas City this season has done a really good job beating up on bad teams, I felt. And I'm not a big believer in Dallas. I'm not a big believer in Dallas defensively. There's this, Quinnen Williams just completely turned this team around. No, look, the Raiders' offense is lifeless, and Philadelphia handed them that game. Philly was lighting them on fire, but Kevin Petula was one of the worst offensive coordinators the league's maybe ever seen, and Sirianni's chasing his tail on the sideline right now. Call it like you see it. So I think this is a step-up spot for Patrick Mahomes. I think he's had a few step-up spots in a row where he's not been able to meet that, but some of that is the talent has been there, right? I mean, he had a really bad game against Buffalo, but Denver's really good defensively. The culture's solid. I think this is a game where Mahomes gets going. Props-wise, other than Xavier Worthy, and his coming. Here's the thing. Everybody's kind of coming back home, right?
Yeah.
Mahomes with the Texas Tech, Rashee Rice with the SMU, and Kelsey's probably got some ties somewhere. I don't know. Maybe Kareem Hunt has a cousin who lives in town. What about Hollywood Brown? You know anybody from Texas?
Well, he went to Oklahoma, so Hollywood Brown could potentially.
So it's a rivalry spot.
It's a rivalry spot.
Great.
So
it's a big motivation spot.
Let me
for the
just
team.
ask you this. Let me play devil's advocate on Thanksgiving. Any concern that Kansas City in road environments hasn't stepped up? They're 1-4 on the road or on a neutral field. Lost to L.A. week 1.
Yep.
Lost to Denver.
Yep.
Lost to the Bills. Right?
Yeah.
Any concern that the only team that they beat on the road was the garbage New York Giants and they struggled in that game? I'm just curious.
I think it could be a concern throughout the postseason. It is not a concern for me today because I think this is I can't stress this enough, such a Mahomes spot.
Yeah.
Who's that in acting?
Matt Golden.
With the sell me something
so
down the drain.
First of all, it was, let me just put the cat out of the bag. Matt Golden did go to Texas, but he's not playing in Big D today.
Yeah, but he might.
So there's no correlation.
Big D, Detroit, see? Walked right into
Go with
it.
Hollywood Brown.
No.
Put Hollywood Brown in there.
This was my sell me something. It's for sale like you wouldn't believe. I wasted a bunch of bonus bet money on this.
This Golden, he's another one. He's a chandelier. The guy can't even play throughout these Green Bay wide receivers. I mean, could we get a better strength and conditioning guy in Green Bay? Josh Jacobs goes down. Last year, they're dropping like flies against Philadelphia. Wicks with the big helmet. I mean, could we do something in Green Bay? Could we do something?
With the helmet.
I'm just saying, he looks like Spaceballs with that helmet.
A chandelier is not, that's new to me. That's a good
Well, I mean, he is. I mean, this guy Golden, at Texas, he never broke down. I mean, he was the most consistent receiver last year for Quinn Ewers. Now you get him in the NFL. He can't stay on the field.
It's not great.
Wicks. I told you, Wicks.
Big spot now.
Big spot.
I got to change my sell me something.
Wicks. All right, so change it.
Okay.
I'll give you credit. You could change it. They had no shot with the Golden going.
Well, no, I'll tell you. When Worthy gets there now, I'm gonna be like, we would have been rich. We would have been. It was. I stepped up for you.
I know.
I went 680 to 1.
Well, why don't we? I have a sell me something.
It's not gonna work.
We'll
now.
take every quarterback.
I might have left a zero.
Every
out of that.
quarterback for 275 and 2 touchdowns and every over.
No, what?
That'll be 68.
I think I know what I'm gonna do for my sell me.
Every quarterback, 275 throwing.
Okay.
Love, Goff, 2 touchdowns each, and the total.
I've done some stuff similar.
I gave it to you. It's Thanksgiving.
I'm not. My sell me something isn't going to be one of your wackadoo plays.
All right, it was a shot. I gave you a shot.
You gave me. Lisi showed me one ticket. I'll just say this: it comes in, This will be me on Sunday. Hey, guys, Kevin Walsh, solo for the next 2 hours, breaking down the slate. That's going to be me. That's going to be me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If that
Well,
comes in
that
tonight.
or I'm going to be working for Lisi, running around. More tea, sir. Let's break down this late game. The big one. Burrow's back.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League.
Yep.
So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what
He
I
got
said
hit
earlier.
behind the line of
worst problem
scrimmage.
on
He got
this team is
tackled
the
in the
offensive
end zone.
line. Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing
No
is,
surprise.
Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Pro Football Today. Right here on SportsGrid, man. Right here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi. This game is now being called the big one.
The big one by me.
Joe Burrow against the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. How do you feel about this one?
So let me just explain this.
Go ahead.
The big one could have, the view and how you view a game it's all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Absolutely
The
so.
big one doesn't necessarily mean implications potentially for obviously the Super Bowl or as meaningful as the 2 games that precede it, right?
Yeah.
The big one could mean I'm dialed into the props. I want to see fireworks. I think that this game last year, if you remember, we covered it on a Thursday night, came right down to the wire with a 2-point conversion that the refs missed, where Burrow got slapped in the helmet and they didn't call it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was 35-34. Isn't that the game where I actually said Burrow would throw for 400, and he did? And Jamar Chase, what did he have, 150 yards in that game?
Something like that.
Crazy.
So,
I'm just saying, this is juicy, Kev. Put it this way. You had your sell me something on the lot, right? It didn't sell. You're basically giving it away for New Year's. It's okay. This, if the first 2 games don't go our way, this is the big one. This is the bailout. You have Navy and Memphis a little bit later today, which if you like college, you could play that. But this is the big one. Keep this in your back pocket just in case.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Because again, you guys got to know the appropriate
mindset.
If you win your first 2 games, you're hot, you're rolling. 3rd game's probably coming in. If you lose your first 2 games, you're fine. Because you're not going to go 0 for 3. So your 3rd game's coming in. So you're good either way.
See, I actually like to think that, you know what? The books put up high numbers, right? Today.
Okay.
Right next to 50.
Yeah.
The NFL loves its fans and loves the fan. They're going to give us 3 great games today. 3 great ones.
Okay.
And you know what? Be
I hope
thankful.
so.
Let's just over.
Yeah.
This is we haven't said it in a while. It's a party over.
Wow. Bringing it back.
Yes.
Interesting.
Party over.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
We've now talked about the total in all 3 of these games.
Yeah.
You're incredible, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Why?
You know why.
Why do I know why?
You know why.
Why?
We've talked about the total in every one of these games.
Yeah, and I told you what I like on the side. Kansas
so we
City,
are
Green Bay.
An hour and about 5 minutes away from getting to best bets.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And when I listen to you talk about these 3 totals and what is filled out into that column,
right,
I think you're incredible. I really do.
Well,
because 1 + 1 is somehow equaling 7. But now
I don't want to wait around till 7:30 for the. I want to start tweeting it out. I want to start tweeting out the best bet.
He needs the glory right away. Right away. Hey, Lise, I got smashed early. Quiet down. 2 more to come.
Right.
Listen. Now, if we could actually try and figure this game out here.
Go ahead.
Any love on Cincinnati plus the 7.5? I bet it. So not you, me. Right? Isn't that how it goes?
We were on Cincinnati last week. They give us the backdoor
they
cover.
Sure did.
That was a hot team. And again, we said, would Flacco even play in this game?
Right.
Would Flacco play in this game, or would it be in fact Joe Burrow? It is Burrow.
Yep.
The Jets did grind out that cover last week. Tyrod Taylor 221 on that defense. I still don't believe Baltimore's this elite defense. I think they can be exposed like they were in the early part of the season where teams ran and threw at them on will. Certainly, we saw Detroit put up 38+ on them, and I just think this is a chase game. With Higgins banged up, I just think chase break. They can't contain. There's certain – look, if this was the NBA, Kevin, and we were talking LeBron – that just say owns the Pistons, right? And he averages over the past 2 years 35, 10, and 6, right? Yeah. You'd be saying, just hands down bet LeBron, right? Same thing with Chase owns the Ravens. He never, he had he had 200 yards against them the last time they played. Now the only thing is Burrow with the quarterback to wide receiver relationship 100% healthy? Yeah. You would hope, but if he's not, he still knows Jamar Chase better than anybody.
Couple of things, okay? One, if you bet the Kalshi market, which host was going to bring up LeBron, huge upset.
Huge upset.
Huge upset.
Right.
2, are you trying to cozy up to me? What are you trying to get me to root you back to extra?
Because you know I'm right.
Well, sure, you're bringing up how great LeBron is.
No, but I'm just saying, we talk about these professional.
By you.
Right, well, there's certain.
Because if you want to be compared to any player, you want to be compared to LeBron. We know that.
And Jamar Chase is possibly still the most explosive, best wide receiver that we've seen in the game.
Yeah, listen, I hear you. I don't mind it at all.
So you're taking the 7. Are you in on the over or not? That's all we need to know. Are you in on the over? Are you with
I didn't
me?
play it yet. I took the 7.5.
You want to see if the best bet comes in. I know you.
I got to track.
That's right. I already have the tweet ready. Basically, figure we'll get it around 3 o'clock.
Yeah? Of what? Don't worry. Head down, straight up, move forward. A lot of games left. Is that the tweet?
No. They told you. I said it. Me, not you. Algo, the human algo.
There's a couple specials out there, Joe, because not all of these get to make our upcoming revamped Sunday morning crunch on a Thanksgiving morning.
Okay.
How do you feel about this? It's not going to be good enough for you, if I had to guess. Plus 135.
Yeah.
Yeah, already is out.
Yeah.
Each team to score 17 today.
I like that.
Plus 135, though.
Yeah.
Can we get each team to score 30?
This was like closer to 2-1, 185.
What do you is that what you make it?
That's what I would make, and I give out money on things. So you give to get back, right?
Okay.
It's like promotional free bets, right? You give them a little.
Each quarterback to throw 1 passing touchdown, even money. Does that speak to you?
Yeah. Yes.
Or you want to up it a little bit?
Could we do even money's not bad.
Okay.
I like that.
Each quarterback to throw a touchdown and 200+ yards.
What's that?
It depends if you put a boost on it or not.
All right, so give me
Non-boosted?
non-boosted.
Plus 450?
Really? I like that.
Okay.
That I would take. I actually have a 15-legger where I took.
Oh, my gosh, 15-legger.
Why not? It's
We're going to pass
Thanksgiving.
the props next on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Darren Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League.
Yep.
So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I
He
said
got hit
earlier.
behind the line of
worst problem
scrimmage.
on
He got
this team
tackled
is the
in the
offensive
end zone.
line. Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing
No
is,
surprise.
Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. We really upped the ante, I feel, here. Typically, let's call it what it is. We do a Pro Football Today any day of the week. It's time to talk props. We're going to call it Sunday Morning Crunch. That's just what we're going to do. But
Thursday morning crunch, maybe?
how about this, Joe?
Yeah.
Pass the Props
Oh,
is the name of the segment today. How do you feel about that?
I like that.
Does that give you good energy going into the segment?
Yes.
Good.
Very good.
You excited to pass the props around?
Yeah, let's pass the prop. I wish we had some more d'oeuvres or something. I'm starting a little cheese plate or something.
What kind of cheese do you like on a cheese plate?
Parmesan, blue cheese. I'm a big blue cheese.
Really?
With the truffle honey.
Crackers or no crackers?
I'll eat a little cracker if they're gluten-free.
Okay.
Thin.
Okay. There it is.
I don't need a heavy cracker.
No?
Nice glass of red.
Let's start to put a couple of these on the board, Joe. Pass me a prop. What do you got?
So I'll go to the early game. I told you Jamison Williams.
Yeah.
I really like Jamison Williams today. I think he breaks out. I altered him as high as 80+. Now, 80 plus I think is still light. I think he can get to 100 today, but Jamison Williams in the early matchup for me is the guy.
Yeah.
I also like him anytime touchdown.
Yep.
But for the sake of past the props, I took him over his receiving total, which I believe is 52.5 today.
Yeah, I like it. You know that. I think Jamison Williams will be featured early and often in this football game. I think you could make an argument for a receptions ladder if you're interested in some of that here on this slate. I want to play his receptions kind of, but like the way he is, it's
He's
like, hey, he's
explosive.
1 for 30. How do you feel? Fine, but annoyed. You know what I mean? Like, so it's interesting. Give me another. Come on, keep on passing.
Second
these props.
game, we
Star.
talked about. Now, this situation happened with Kayshon Boutte when they went on the road to New Orleans,
Yeah.
came back to the Dome.
This is one of your better calls, the Kayshon Boutte one. You didn't get enough credit for that.
Nah, you didn't build it up. You're the host. I'm just in the sidecar. you didn't build it up. I'm just a co-host.
You know why?
Why?
I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was ridiculous when you said it.
Why? He had two touchdowns in that game.
I know what he did. Yeah, that's
and now all of a sudden he's like a prime target for Drake May.
Hasn't he been injured for weeks?
Well, he came back last week. That being said, we have a similar situation with Xavier Worthy that only had 4 receptions for 49 yards. It was Rashee Rice that had over 140 last week.
Yeah.
He's coming back to Dallas. When I say coming back, you know these players that play at Texas and Oklahoma, they love to play in Arlington. Big 12 championship, even though both teams are in the SEC. Xavier Worthy on the big stage, I think they feed him the football today, whether it be in reverses. Now, I did take his over total today as high as 70, 80. But anytime touchdown, Kev, it's almost 2.5 to 1. It's like plus 230.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We don't often see an anytime touchdown appear in our prop segment. I'm not mad at this, though. I'm not. You've sold me throughout the week because I know you've been excited for this. It's why I offered you up, and you loved it. Golden and Worthy. You thought it was one of the sharper looks, each for 2, especially the golden angle. He's out, though. What a shame that is. I mean,
I didn't sell you the golden angle.
No, you did. It
okay.
Was anyone who's ever been inside the state of Texas, we were just taking for 2+ touchdowns.
There you go.
Is how it felt on the day. I'm just checking. Back in Texas, first time because they played Houston. They did play Houston though, Joe, last year in the regular season. He had a touchdown.
I don't. But still, it's Dallas. It's the Cowboy.
Yeah.
You know, there's a part of me that thinks Xavier Worthy probably wishes he went to the Cowboys.
No, I don't think that at all. I don't think that.
Yeah.
You know what? You might be right. All right, go ahead. One more.
Lamar Jackson. Now, if you remember last year, at the end of the regular season when they went on that heater, Lamar was ripping off runs. Remember, that's what gave him the case for MVP at the end of the regular season. I actually think he ripped off one against the Texans. Was that Thanksgiving or
48
Christmas?
yards, Christmas.
Christmas. So he's a pig for the primetime games where all eyes are on Lamar Jackson. I had him for a rushing touchdown last week. He didn't hit pay dirt. They got to give it to Derrick Henry on the goal line every single time. In this matchup with a pathetic, gutless defense in Cincinnati, over. Rushing yards for Lamar Jackson. Don't be shot. Take his longest run. Anytime touchdown. He goes for 50 or 60 plus. Look at Lamar. Look at Lamar. You're playing a high school defense.
All right, superstar. Can I get 25 seconds now to do my 3?
What
do you think?
I thought the segment was 2 and 1 and 1.
Yeah. It's all right. Pass the props with Joe Lisi. Kevin Walsh here getting the scraps. Love over the 1.5 passing touchdowns. Detroit's allowed 8 of 11 quarterbacks to get there. Mahomes, 3+ passing plus rushing. That's plus 118, just in case he scoots in. He did go to Texas Tech, so basically all that Dallas stuff still applies. He's thrown 3 or 4. He's never thrown 2, so I like to take it up for the plus price. Burrow over the 24.5 completions. Hit this in 9 of 10 last year. I think the quick game will be involved here against Baltimore for Burrow. Eagles-Bears is next.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Jeanty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.